Hey everyone, my name is Sean Cecil from the Oculus Institute, and today I'm going to teach you about the absolute worst time to put your personal growth on the back burner. So one thing that I've noticed as a coach, and I've noticed this with clients, I've noticed this with people who maybe haven't become clients but I'm interacting with, one thing that I've noticed is really common is that people will get into a state of stress. And then when that happens, they get the sense of overwhelm, they get the sense of, there's too much to do. And one of the first things that normally goes is their personal growth work. They focus everything on maintenance, on responding to urgent emergency stuff at work, whatever. Their attention goes to maybe personal things that, are outside of their control. And so they're spending a lot of energy and a lot of time trying to deal with these personal things. And then all the growth work, all the forward-looking work, kind of gets deprioritized until they clean up all these other fires. And from most people's perspective, that makes sense. They're like, hey, listen, this is optional. This is, something that I'd like to do, but I don't have to do. All these other things I have to do. And in reality, though, those buckets are actually quite wrong, because many of these things that are so-called have-to-dos aren't really have-to-dos. There are a lot of emergencies from work that really aren't have-to-dos, and there's just people putting more work on you. There are a lot of personal situations where it may be a big cost, but there's nothing that you can do about it. And so putting time and energy into it doesn't actually help you, right? It's outside of your control, as it were. And what's really going on there is that there's an attachment and there's this idea of, hey, I just need to do something, anything to make this change, when there isn't anything you can do to make this change. And in reality, this personal growth work that is being put on the back burner is actually the solution to all of these have-tos, because these are very often illusions. And the personal growth work is actually the thing that's going to solve a lot of stuff. And I'll give you some examples of that. So one of the examples of this is if you're at work and you're getting deluged with stuff and you're having trouble pushing back and saying no to your boss because you've got people-pleasing tendencies or, authority tendencies or things like that, where you struggle with, pushing back and drawing boundaries, it's the internal work that gives you the ability to draw those boundaries that makes this have-to, that's not really have-to, decline, right? If you have a personal situation, say you have some kind of conflict with your spouse, or you're getting divorced or whatever it is, right? Divorce is a great example because people burn so much time, energy, and money on stuff that they cannot possibly change. The internal work is what's gonna help you come to peace with things so that you actually can stop putting all that time, money, and energy into stuff that's not gonna change, right? You need to have this acceptance, right? And so this growth work is what actually changes things over here, right? That's how you actually redirect all of this time, money, and energy that you're putting in, and that's how you get rid of that stress. And so when you go into this place where you're at this maximum point of stress, and then people will give up the thing that actually can help them process and resolve that stress, all that does is cause things to spiral. So the worst case scenario is that it spirals into a personal calamity where people burn out. Maybe even I know somebody who recently had a psychotic break. Fortunately, back on track now, but and then obviously this was not a client, this was somebody who I knew through other means. That's the worst case scenario. But the most common scenario is that people spend time dealing with the stress, they lose all the momentum they built on the personal growth side, and then at some point things kind of quiet down and they spend a little bit of time going and doing some of the personal growth work, and then new fires arise, new have-to illusions arise, they stop the personal growth stuff, and they never build momentum, and so they never change their situation. It's the same thing day in and day out. And there are all these other levers that could be pulled, right? They could learn to draw boundaries. They could learn to, accept certain things in their lives. They could learn to do all of these other aspects, but all the keys to doing that have been put on the back burner. So the absolute worst time to give up your personal growth and put it on the back burner is when you feel the most overwhelmed. When you feel the most overwhelmed, the personal growth, the internal work is the single most important thing that you can do. Hey everyone, if you found this video valuable, if you found a new perspective that's going to help you in your career or in your personal development, then I've got one more free gift for you. I've put together a free diagnostic quiz to help you figure out exactly where you are on the path to career freedom and what you need to do next. Just a few short multiple choice questions, and you're gonna get a rating of where you stand in terms of your career fulfillment. How is your job affecting you? How much does it align with who you naturally are? With your financial success, and with your internal alignment, your own sense of inner peace, and how that plays out in your life. Additionally, it will also show you which toolboxes are going to help you achieve higher levels in the ratings that were most challenging for you, as well as what next steps you can take to make sure that you gain those skills and you get the rewards. So if you want to go take that quiz, just go to www.oculusinstitute.com/purposequiz. No lines, no spaces, no dashes, just www.oculusinstitute.com/purposequiz. I'm looking forward to seeing your results. I hope you get a lot out of it, and I'm looking forward to helping you take those next steps.